Hey guys, this is Sam with the RG Reviews today. Today I'm bringing you the Rock Island Armory CS 1911A1. It's not a bad little concealed carry piece from first impressions. I dig it quite a bit. Today I'm just going to read the specs right off of the manufacturer sheet that they sent with us. It says it's 6 rounds, but it actually came with a 7-round magazine. I think out the door we walked out with this for $375, which is a pretty good price. Let's see what else. It says it's about 2.16 pounds unloaded, which I've marked down as a con. You know, it's pretty heavy for a concealed gun. 2.43 pounds with a full magazine, and I'm guessing that's 6 rounds. The grips are just a plain, wood. They're not bad at all. I dig them. They're just a little thick. Other than that, not bad grips. Pretty nice wood, actually, if you ask me. It's just a basic Parkerized finish, fixed front sight. It looks like the rear sight can be adjusted left to right. It's just a dovetail rear sight. Out of the box, they could have done a little bit better on the sights, but for $375, I'm not complaining. It's set up like your standard 1911. I do like the hammer on it. It's a pretty sweet hammer, and this weapon has already been cleared, by the way. I do like the hammer on it. It's pretty smooth. The trigger pull says between 4 and 5 pounds, which isn't bad. At the range, the trigger felt pretty good. I ran 100 rounds through it with no malfunction, so I've heard a lot of people say Rock Island Armory, they're pieces of crap and all this, but this gun's speaking for itself. I can't believe it. Can't believe what they're saying about it. It does use standard 1911 mags. They don't flush fit, but they work. Same with the Wilson Combat 8-round magazines. I used that. This mag functioned flawlessly. Everything I threw at this gun worked. Now, I just ran 230 grain standard 45 through it, and that's recommended to run through 1911s. No plus P, and I think hollow points don't perform very well in this gun because it does not have a polished feed ramp right out of the box. Not complaining though, because that's a simple fix. You can polish it up yourself if you've got medial skills with stuff like that. I'm trying to keep this review quick. My battery on my camera's running a little low. Pros: it is very thin and easy to conceal for me, and I'm even a big guy, and sometimes concealing along the waistband can be uncomfortable with us bigger fellas. Let's see what else. I could put round on top of round at 10 yards with this thing, and for a concealed gun, that's what you're kind of looking for. 10 yards or less for a conflict, maybe even out to 15 yards, but anything past that, you're probably in a situation you're able to get out of. And that's why I don't mind having this for concealed, because it is only 7 rounds, but in your general, in your generic concealed situation, 1 maybe 2 attackers tops. How many rounds do you actually need? I've argued for capacity for a long time, but I figured with what I can do at the range with this, with 7 rounds, I'm doing pretty well with keeping a good group and moving from target to target. So it's all about shot placement at this point for me. What I would recommend for someone who is a novice concealed carrier and a novice shooter, don't try and rock a 1911. Get a lot of practice in with it before you make that decision. Because, to be honest, for me, it wasn't the easiest gun to shoot. It took some getting used to. But the first 1911, not this one. This one felt pretty good in my hands right off the bat. Didn't really have a problem with it. As far as the recoil and everything, the weight actually does a lot for the recoil, which is a pro in the weight area, but overall weight is a con in my in my e-thought. There's a good word. It's really dependable. Like I said, 100 rounds. First 100 rounds I ran through it, not even a hiccup, not a problem. It's accurate, like I said earlier. The beaver tail on it's very nice. The only thing I don't like about it is the beaver tail sticks out a little too much for a concealed carry for me. But, when you're paying $375 for a gun, you can't really get too upset. I'm probably going to throw a little bit thinner profile grips on here. Other than that, right out of the box, this gun isn't that bad for $375, of course, and that ranges $375 between $450, just depending on what you're doing. Another reason I like the 1911s is because the magazines are cheap and you can find them almost anywhere. And I'm sorry to say that a lot of people, they talk crap about the GI issue 1911 mags, which there might be some lemons out there, but the last time I checked, they've worked since 1911 and through a couple, I believe 3 or 4 engagements, wars, police actions, Korea, Vietnam. Let's see what else. I believe during the Cold War, some of these were still in service before the Beretta M9 went, full scale in our military. Through World War II, these guns have just time tested. That's what I'm going to say. You can't speak out against time tested firearms. And the same goes with the magazines. You can pick these mags up for like $7, $8, $9 locally. That's not bad. And you get 10 of these 7-round mags. You're pretty good to go as long as you practice your magazine changes and stuff like that. This was extremely tight right out of the box. I mean, it is a tight little gun. There's barely, you can't hear anything wiggle around, which on some Taurus is actually right out of the box. I hear a lot of play in them. But I'm going to go through a quick breakdown with this, hopefully before my camera dies. This actually is easier to break down than my Springfield, I believe. Just because the way the barrel comes out, it's a little easier. What you're going to do is there's a button right here on this side. You're going to slide this until that magazine catches in that first little notch. You probably see it. And 1911s are pretty easy to break down in general. Oh, didn't mean to bump the camera. There you go. There's the guts. Remove the spring. This is the thing I like about this. Instead of this part, you have to twist and do all kinds of crap with it. You just pull it right out. It's very easy. Then your barrel just slides right out the front. Bam, it's broke down, ready to clean, and it's field stripped. Ready to clean. You throw it right back in. Very simple, very quick and easy. And that's what I really liked about this. It doesn't get much easier than that. To put it in, set your pin in place first. Oh, don't know why I did that. Oh, looks like my spring's having trouble. There we go. Sometimes, this is still a new gun, I'm still getting used to the break-in. Only broke it down once or twice. Other than that, bam, right in, now you're ready to rock. And it's a pretty quick breakdown, and for someone who's only broke it down 3 times, I don't think that's too bad. There's not a lot else I can say about this. Most of the parts can interchange with standard 1911 parts. The thing I just cannot get across, enough is how cheap the magazines are, how reliable the actual pistol is as far as the 1911 design, not necessarily this pistol, because I've only ran 100 through it so far, and that was actually a couple days ago. Like I said, I was training for a concealed situation because this is a concealed gun. Now out to 15 to 20 yards, that's another question on accuracy with a concealed gun. Because it is a shorter barrel, but once you get trained, and I don't want to say trained, but once you practice with your firearm and know where it's going to hit, what it's going to do at different ranges, then you should be just fine. Overall thoughts: base model 1911 for $375, compact, ready to conceal, cheap magazines, easy to find parts, a plentiful ammo, even though the ammo is a little expensive. All those things are putting, pluses in the pro columns for this, and there's only a few cons that I can work around for the price. And those cons are fixed. You can get those fixed. You can get your feed ramp polish, you can get thinner grips, you can get better sights. You can even pick up better springs, a better slide, switch out your trigger. For a base model, you can build this up to be whatever you want it to be, really, in the world of 1911s. Thanks for all the views lately, guys. we're going to go through and list a list of guns soon that we haven't reviewed. Hopefully you guys will give us some feedback on what you want to see next, what kind of gear you'd like to see, camping equipment. Right now I work at a surplus store and I have a whole bunch of equipment and gear at my disposal to use. Very cheap, very cheap. You know, and just let me know, see if I can get my hands on stuff. I do have a Surefire or two laying around that I can review. I'm trying not to, just because, you know, I'm not a big flashlight kind of guy, optics kind of guy, even though a lot of people are into that kind of stuff. But anyway, guys, thanks for the feedback. Lately, you guys have just rocked being positive and giving good questions, and even other people answering them on my site and on our site, excuse me. You know, thanks, guys. Thanks for all the help and all the good things y'all have been saying. We really appreciate it, and we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for the guys that really make it worthwhile. We're not out there for the money, as you guys know. We're not millionaires, obviously. I'm reviewing a Rock Island Armory instead of a Kimber. And you know, as far as price goes, I'd rather spend $375 on this than $1,200 on a Kimber that's gonna almost do the same thing. And you can put $300-400 into it and build you up a really, really, really nice 1911. But thank you for watching. Look forward to the full-size Springfield GI Parkerized 1911. It's a mil-spec one. I'm probably going to be doing that one next. I might even compare the two. Look forward to the Ruger SR9C. Probably going to do that very soon. Might even start working on it tonight. Maybe even get it uploaded tonight. But once again, thanks guys for watching. Train practically and train safe, and you know, be safe out at the range. We don't want anybody getting hurt, you know, doing something silly. But you guys take care, and thanks for subscribing and watching. Really appreciate it.